is Aneequa. For those of you who don't already know, I'm going to teach you a nice 30-minute Pilates stretch on behalf of our park. So let's go ahead and get started. We always start with alignment, breathing, and core engagement before we go into mobilization, main stretches, and then a nice little cool down to end. So let's go ahead and start in our Pilates alignment. For those of you who've been doing the class regularly, I don't even need to tell you, you can get started as usual from the bottom up. Let's have our feet hip distance, slightly bent knees, hips facing directly forward, pelvis in neutral, so we're going to tilt forward and back, find that point somewhere in the middle, shoulders back and down, navel into the spine, shin parallel to the ground, and that string pulling you all the way towards the ceiling. So go ahead and look at your posture. If anything needs correcting, go ahead and just make your hips, shoulders even. And even these little adjustments, they all start to add up over time to help you with improving your posture long term. So we've got posture. Let's go into core engagement. As I always say, because I don't want to make it too repetitive, as most of you are regulars, but just so that the newbies can understand as well. If this goes over anyone's head, don't worry. Every time we go over it, and you will start to get used to it. So let's go ahead. Let's start with the pelvic floor. That's one area of core engagement. The other is the deep tummy muscles, but let's do pelvic floor first. So hammer in between the legs, pulling everything, your internal organs, pulling them all upwards to 100%, released by a third. So we've basically got this nice tight feeling here. And then let's go straight ahead and add the deep tummy muscles. So slightly higher now, we've got on a belt or corset and we're pulling inwards. Let's do up and in. And then all of this whole powerhouse area should feel nice and tight. And we don't want to let go of that feeling of engagement. So really just imagine that you've got your navel sucked in, and that should help to tighten up all of these areas too. Shoulders are relaxed. Let's go ahead and do some nice breathing here. So take a deep inhale through the nose, all the way into the lower back, and exhale through the mouth. And again, inhaling through the nose, not just into the chest, but into the lower back. Exhale through the mouth. When we exhale, we're keeping the abs drawn together and that feeling of tightness. Let's go ahead and do two more. Deep inhale into the lower back. Exhale, feel those fingers come together as you exhale. Inhale, blowing up the balloon inside the body, and the fingers are spreading apart. Last exhale, the fingers come back together. We're keeping that feeling of tightness on the exhale. Perfect. So let's go ahead now, and we're going to go into, in fact, before we do our head and neck, let's just give our feet and our tendons a bit of a stretch. So let's have our palms out to the side. You're going to stand up nice and tall. All you're going to do, I'll show you from the side, you're just going to curl your toes up towards you. So we're just going to give the calves a little, and the hamstrings, toes, everything a little bit of a stretch. In the feet, in the lower leg, just hold it there. And then bring the toes down. Let's just do one more. Inhale, navel into the spine. Exhale, just curl those toes up. And then we're going to go into a quick little foot series here before we do our usual mobilization. So feet hip distance. Let's do hands on the hips. For those of you who remember this, go ahead and do it quickly. And then you'll start to get nice and warm as well. So we're going to bend the knees. Come up onto the toes. Straighten and down. So as I always say, bend, toes, straighten and down, bend, toes, straighten, down, bend, toes, straighten, down. I'll show you from the side. Bend onto the toes, straighten and down, bend, toes, straighten and down. Keeping that nice posture. Let's go ahead and do the same thing with the feet wide. So the feet in a V now. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing. So bend, toes, straighten and down. So we're stretching different muscles already. Bend, toes, straighten and down. Nice, and go ahead and go a little faster, but making sure you're hitting each one of the different parts. Bend, toes, straighten down. Let's do two more. Keep that nice straight spine and posture, and give everything a shake. Okay, so our legs should be starting to feel nice and warm. Let's go ahead and we'll do our head and neck standing today. So let's go ahead and look down, slowly bringing the head to the side, slow semicircle to the other side. For all of you regulars, even when you're doing this, focus on keeping the alignment of the body, navel into the spine, breathing. And let's do another slightly deeper stretch, hand on head, inhale, exhale, look down, creating space in between the head and shoulder. And then let's do one more to the other side. And then here, let's go ahead and do our shoulder rolls. We're not going to do too many. Up to the ears and round. We go forwards first. So enjoy that nice little feeling. And then we go backwards second. And the reason is when we finish, the shoulders come back to into place where they need to be. So enjoy that nice feeling of the shoulders, getting a good old stretch. Let's go ahead and do our scapular exercise with the arms, doing the scissors. So from here, we're just going to bring one arm up, one arm down. Inhale, exhale, and we're bringing the arms to shoulder height. Oh, I'm knocking things over. I know, let's do the other side. So what we're focusing on here is to hold in between, think about the awareness of the upper back and the back of the shoulder blades. So the scapular area doing the work here. Inhale, keep that nice and slow. And we're holding the arms to chest level, shoulder level in between. Really feel the upper back doing what it needs to do, doing the work. And then let's do one more to each side. And then we're going to do a nice rotation. Okay. Thoracic twist. Let's do our spinal rotation. Today we're going to do it with the hands on the head. So go ahead and put your hands on the side of your head. Keep that nice alignment. Take an inhale. Hips are going to stay and navel are going to stay facing forward, facing towards me. Everything else, inhale. Exhale, you're going to twist. So feel that spine rotating nice and gently and safely. Inhale back to center. Exhale, we're going to twist the other way. Naturally, your hips are going to want to go with your torso, but we want them to stay facing forward. So we're really getting a good rotation, waking up the spine. It should feel really, really nice. Nice little twist, always do in the morning. Go ahead and do two more to each side in your own time. And then from there, we're going to go into balance. It's always good to do balance, practice daily. It's something that starts to decline as we age. Always good to practice balance. Today, what we'll do is, let's stand to the side. And from here, in fact, let's have one leg in front, the other leg behind. The toes are pointing in the same direction. What we're going to do here is both legs are going to be straight, both knees are going to be straight. You're going to hinge forward from the hip and you're going to bend that front knee. And all you're going to do is bend and then straighten. So we're just bending that front knee, keeping that nice diagonal line of the body. And straighten. Let's do two more on this side. And then let's switch sides, do the same thing. So toes are pointing one way, and then you're just going to bend that front knee. And then straighten the front knee, and again, keep that navel into the spine. Think about the core engagement, even when you're doing this. Let's do one more on this side. Okay. Give the legs a shake. From there, we're going to go ahead and go into our squat. So from here, let's just do a squat with our feet hip distance rather than wide. Let's have the hands on the hips. Take an inhale, exhale, sit low. You can let the knees come out, but they're not going any further past the toes. So start to feel the glutes getting activated. Keep that spine straight. Inhale, exhale, sit low. Inhale as you come up, exhale, straight spine, inhale. Let's go ahead and do another 3. You should be starting to feel really warm. And last one. Give everything a shake. From there, let's just go ahead and do a little ankle rotation on each leg. In fact, get the wrists involved as well. One way and then the other. And then we're going to do our roll downs and come to cross-legged position on the mat. Do our side bend, which we're going to do in a mermaid position. So go ahead and take your starting alignment for the lovely roll down, the nice enjoyable bit. Come to the end of the mat, standing up nice and tall, shoulders back and down. Deep inhale, exhale, tuck the chin in and slowly start to melt forward, keeping the knees straight if you can. Arms are loose. Head is heavy and loose, just hanging there. Really floppy. And then slowly coming all the way back up. Keep that head exactly where it is, tucked into the chin. Head comes up last. Really nice, exactly. Nice and slow with each vertebrae at a time, stacking up the spine. Let's go again. Inhale, exhale, slowly start to roll down. If you've got lower back issues, as I always say, go ahead and bend the knees. You can do that too. And if you want to touch the mat, you can. Otherwise, just come to where it feels good and just hang there for a while. And then slowly start to come back up. And then let's go ahead and do our last one. Inhale, exhale, tuck the chin. And slowly start to melt forward. And this time you're going to roll all the way down. Okay, great. So now you're going to come to cross-legged position. Let's go ahead. In fact, I lied. We're not going to do cross-legged. We're going to do a mermaid position. So from there, you're going to come into this kind of position here. If you can see what I'm doing, I've got one leg bent behind me and the other leg is bent in front with the sole of the foot touching the thigh. If you can do that, great. If you can't, cross-legged is fine. We're going to do, let's do 3 stretches on one side and then on one leg, both sides, and then we're going to do 3 on the other side. So in this position here, try and make sure that both of your sit bones are firmly on the mat. So both bum cheeks are firmly on the mat, shoulders back and down. From here, let's go ahead and do our side stretch. Take an inhale, exhale all the way to the side. Go ahead and move the hand that's on the mat even further away to get a deeper stretch here. And then let's go ahead and do the other side. We're going to do 3 on this side, on this leg, each side. Really, really stretching out the side. And then let's do one more before we move our legs around. Really nice. Enjoy this stretch. Nice stretch to the other side. And the great thing with Pilates is you can always go to your own level. So you can try and improve by stretching yourself further each time and improving your flexibility. But also if something feels funny or if it doesn't feel, your body's not used to it, then you just go to your own range of movement. Go ahead and switch sides. Let's do 3 each way on this side, with the legs in this position, making sure both of the sit bones are firmly on the mat. And we're just going to stretch. And here you challenge yourself by just bringing the hand on the mat further. And then naturally the other hand is going to have to do it a bit more of a stretch as well. Just breathe with it. Inhale, exhale as you stretch. And then we're going to do one more to each side. Last one, let's get nice and stretched. Okay, so from here, let's come into a cross-legged position. And from here, I'll give you a couple of choices. Either you can take an inhale, navel into the spine. Exhale, you're just going to lift the hips up off the mat, tilt the head slightly backwards. So you're squeezing the glutes and squeezing those abs, your abs together. So this shouldn't be hurting your lower back or neck. You should be able to hold this for quite a long time. I'm not going to make you do that. So you can either hold this position and just get the lower back extension ever so slowly, come down when you need to, and then you can go up again. If that's too much for your hands, for example, anything that you're doing on your hands, if you've got wrist issues, you can make fists and do the same thing. Otherwise, you can just keep your hands here and you don't need to lift your hips up. You can just do a little tilt backwards and open out the chest. So we're trying to really open out the chest here and get that little back extension as well. And breathe. Otherwise, you're coming up, hold it, and then come down and then go up again in your own time. So just getting a nice open chest, lower back extension. Okay, perfect. So from there, we're going to go into leg pulls. So if you remember this one, we're going to start off in all fours, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath the hips, navel into the spine, crown of the head pointing forward, looking down at the mat. From here, you're going to bring whichever leg you're starting with. Let's have a flexed foot. Let's keep that leg at hip height, keep looking down at the mat and the crown of the head forward so our neck's not hurting in any way. Really draw those abs together as you start to lift and lower that leg. So we're really, even try and squeeze the glute here. This one is really getting the glutes activated and you're really imagining those abs staying together. As you exhale, the tummy button, the belly is not hanging loose. It's really nice and sucked in. And the foot is not touching the mat as it comes down. So just nice little leg pull. Keep that foot flexed. Inhale, exhale. Let's go ahead and do 3 more on that leg, and then we're going to do circles on that leg before we switch sides. Cool. When you've done your last one, let's go into circles on that leg. So from here, you can go ahead and point the toes now, and we're just going to do circles all the way from the top of the hip, using that hip bone, that full leg to do these nice circles. Imagine that you're painting a circle on the wall behind you. Try and just imagine that paintbrush on that big toe. Try and keep that leg at hip height. And you're drawing circles one way, and then we're going to go ahead and do the circles the other way on that same leg. So if you can think whichever way you were going, it always feels weirder on one leg than the other. So keep that belly sucked in, keep that leg at hip height, and keep stirring that leg. Okay. Keep breathing with it. Let's just do a couple more on that leg. And then you can come down, let's go ahead, have a little rest for a second, and let's go into the other leg. Leg pulls and then leg circles. So same thing, let's start off with the leg pull. So flexed foot here, navel into the spine. We're just lifting and lowering. Keep that leg straight, keep that knee straight as possible. You can really start to feel the glute doing your work here. Keep those abs drawn in and just keep lifting and lowering that leg. Feel the outer thigh, the glutes doing the work. Even the hamstrings here by keeping the foot flexed. Keep going, we're just going to do a few more. on that leg. And then let's go ahead and do leg circles on that leg. Go ahead and let's do 6 circles one way and then 6 circles the other way. And then you can just come into a brief, very brief child's pose. And then we're going to go into cat stretch. So from here, let's go into those circles. Toes are pointed now. And let's go. So you're stirring that full leg. Keep the navel drawn in, abs together. So you're doing 6 one way and 6 the other, really circling that leg. When you've done your last one, go ahead and come into a little child's pose or shell stretch as we call it. Knees wide, feet together. Head is going to go to the mat, arms are stretched in front of you. Let's go ahead and take our nice stretch. Take an inhale, exhale, stretch the fingers forward. Breathe into it, inhale. Exhale, stretch the fingers. And again, inhale, exhale, stretch. Okay. From there, let's come into a cat stretch, and then we're going to come onto our back. So let's just go ahead and take 5 cat stretches here. Same position, take an inhale, tuck the chin in, an arch, exhale, go ahead and reverse. Really, really just feeling that nice mobilization of the spine. This is such a great exercise, especially to do in the morning. Getting everything into place, everything nice and warm. Inhale as you tuck the chin and arch. Exhale, reverse. Go ahead and feel that little back extension as you reverse. And then take your last couple. Last one. Okay. When you've done your last one, you can go ahead and come onto your back. We're going to go into tabletop, and I'll show you the first exercise that we're going to do. Might move this computer a little bit, see if it's getting a bit dark. Okay. From here, lower spine nice and flat on the mat, palms facing down, navel into the spine, legs at hip distance, knees are bent. From here, you're going to come into tabletop. So knees above hips, feet still hip distance, toes pointed, get comfortable. From here, take an inhale. We're going to keep one leg in tabletop. The other leg is going to do a toe tap. And then you're going to drag that foot across the mat, flex the foot, bring that flex foot back, and then point the toe back into tabletop. So I'll show you again on this leg. Toe tap, drag the foot. This leg doesn't move. Flex that foot back into tabletop. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's go ahead. In fact, let's do one leg first. Let's do 6 on one leg and then 6 on the other. So inhale, exhale, toe tap. Draw those abs in on that exhale. Pull that leg up and then back to tabletop. So remember, tabletop, the feet are slightly higher than the knees. Take an inhale, exhale, drag, flex the foot, bring the flex foot up, and then let's just finish. Try and keep the rest of the body still, really using the abs to help you with the movement. Let's go ahead and do our last couple on this side. Hug the knees, and then let's go ahead and do our 6 on the other leg. So legs in tabletop, 1, flex and up, toe tap, drag, flex and up, and hold the legs in tabletop in between. And then last one. Hug the knees, circle them around the chest one way and then the other. And then from there, we're going to come into 100 press. So as usual, I'm going to give you two options. Option one, you're going to have the knees bent and the feet are flat on the mat. And you're going to have your navel into the spine, core is engaged. You're going to lift the head and neck and shoulders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then roll it down. Inhale, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you crunch, roll the head and neck down. For those of you who have been doing this a while, you're going to keep your legs in tabletop, and you're going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep the legs there, head comes down. Inhale, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going with whichever version you're doing. Keep breathing into it. Keep going. Really good. Everyone's doing such a good job. I can see lots of nice crunches, lots of nice tabletop legs. Keep going. Exhale. As you exhale and come up, really imagine those abs drawing together. Think about up and in, that navel into the spine. Make sure it's not your head and neck hurting. If it is, you're not using your abs enough. Let's go ahead and do 3 more sets, and then we're going to do 1 more exercise and then a nice bridge before we start to cool down. Keep going. Last couple. Really nice. Cool. Perfect. From there, let's go ahead and do our last exercise before we do a bridge and then cool down. From here, you're going to keep the legs in tabletop. You can have your hands interlaced behind the head if you want. All you're going to do is take an inhale, come up into the crunch. Exhale, you're going to bring your elbow towards your knee, bring the head back down, and then you're going to twist. So you're trying to bring your elbows to the opposite knee, but the legs stay in tabletop. Inhale, exhale, you're crunching up and bringing that opposite elbow to the opposite knee. So really, really start to feel it in the abs. We're just going to do a few of these and then it's nearly over, I promise. Keep going, nice and controlled, and we're not doing jerky movements here. You're doing really, really well, and it's nearly over, don't worry. So make it a good one. Just keep going. Give me 3 more on each side, and then we'll do our bridge, as I promised. Last couple, keep going. So keep those legs higher than the knees. The feet are slightly higher than the knees, and you're coming all the way down in between. Perfect. Cool. Let's finish off with our bridge. Let's do the bridge with the feet wide. So we've got our knees are wide, feet pointing, toes pointing out, lower spine nice and flat, palms facing down, and let's come up into a bridge, and we're going to add the arms in. I'll show you once. Inhale, exhale, squeeze abs and glutes. You're going to peel up off the mat into the bridge, keeping those knees in a V. From here, squeeze abs and glutes, float our arms behind, stretch those fingers, hold it there. And then slowly start to melt down, 1 vertebrae at a time to the flat back position. Arms come back down. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, exhale, squeeze abs, squeeze glutes, raise up into the shoulders, arms float behind. Someone's pulling your fingers. So in this position, we're going to hold it. And you're really squeezing abs and glutes. When you're doing that, your lower back doesn't hurt. Stretch those fingers behind at the same time as rolling down. Feel that lovely stretch underneath the back. Arms come back down. Let's do our last one. We're going to hold it. Take an inhale. Exhale, squeeze abs, squeeze glutes all the way up. Float the arms behind. Someone's pulling your fingers behind. I'm going to hold it here. Lift the hips up if they feel like they're falling. Really squeeze those abs and glutes. Hold, hold, hold. And then slowly melt down at the same time as someone pulling your fingers behind. Feel really, really nice and stretched. Go ahead and bring the arms down. From here, go ahead and bring the knees to one side, arms in a T position, look the other way. We're just going to have a nice little lower back stretch. And then switch sides. Let's do one more on each side, and we're going to go into our hip flexor to finish. Okay, cool. Final little bit here. Let's have the soles of the feet together. Knees are wide, lower back flat. Naturally, the lower back starts to curve a little bit, and that's fine. Get nice and comfortable. Be really aware of your ribs, the upper back ribs pressing into the mat. Hands on each knee, pushing the knees down. So take a nice deep inhale here. Feel that belly rise up with air. On the exhale, we're pushing our knees out and down. So we're really imagining that we're pushing the knees all the way down to the mat. And again, inhale. Exhale, again, push the knees wider. We're opening out the hip flexor and groin area. Give it a good stretch. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale, push those knees down. Really, really widen the hip flexor area. And then go ahead and stretch the legs out. Let the feet fall either side. You can have a nice full body stretch, much deserved. Palms facing up, eyes are closed now. Tilt the head back. Shoulders are relaxing down. And just start to let the body feel nice and heavy. We're going to just ground ourselves into the mat. And breathe. You can clear the mind now. We're just relaxing. Feeling really, really nice and stretched. Happy that you've started off your day in this way. Most of you have done 2 classes this week, so you're good for the week. Nice and healthy. Everyone's made such a great effort during the last few months. Just breathe. Inhaling all the oxygen into the throat, into the belly. Let all the energy travel to the cells and the muscles of the body. Feeling really, really nice and positive. Feeling blissful, happy. Ready to get on with your day. Really heavy, just melting into the mat. And then let that feeling just travel all the way down the body from the top of the head to the shoulders, hips, knees, and then the toes. And give the toes and fingers a wiggle. Slowly turn to the side. You can open your eyes. We're going to come up for the final posture check. Nice and slow. And let's go ahead and finish off here. Let's go back into the starting position. Feet hip distance, our knees are soft, slightly bent, hips facing forward, shoulders relaxing down, piece of string pulling us nice and tall. Navel into the spine, up and in. That's one thing I hope you will take away from this. Up and in, pelvic floor up, deep tummy muscles in. Let's do the heel raises, exactly hands on the hips, inhale. Exhale, let that core engagement help with the balance. And again, gently coming up onto the toes. That piece of string pulling the head all the way up. We're going to hold this last one, hold it there. Navel into the spine. Hold. As I always say, the head, imagine that the heads are not moving, but the heels are coming down. And you'll feel that full stretch, elongating the body, that lovely posture that you've all got now. And let this posture, for the rest of the day, keep this alignment and this posture. One bit of homework I will give, anytime now that you walk past a mirror, go ahead and check your posture. If you look like you're, coming forward or bending back, or your posture's not, you're not aligned anymore, then just go ahead and correct yourself. And you will find now that you probably walk around, sucking the belly in a bit more, checking the posture a little bit more. And these are all long-term habits that hopefully you'll keep. So I've kept you too long today. So give yourselves a shake. And thank you so much for joining.